afternoon. Good afternoon. Buongiorno. I know how to say good morning in Italian. I don't know how to say good afternoon. Does anyone else out there? Kenneth, do you know how to say good morning in Italian? Or good afternoon? Well, we're in Costa Rica, so buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon. We're late. We're on Costa Rica and European Italian siesta time. 2:03. Back on the late train, and I'm having some issues with my apron. Let's call this on over here. How is everybody doing? I just had 2 weeks vacation, and I'm so happy to be back. Look at that. I got me called up on first try, so this is exciting. Whoa! But we can hear me. We don't want to hear me. I'm on delay. We've been live for 46 seconds. There. Okay. Lenice is watching. Mindy's watching, saying, welcome back. I had a great vacation. Oh my gosh, and look who it is.
Hopefully I don't get stuff on. Hi, everybody.
Yay!
All right, I have a riddle for you. I have a riddle. What do breathwork and Rythmia food have in common? Meg!
Da, 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 da.
She's teaching breathwork tonight.
Yes, I am. I'm so excited to hold space for you so you can be off and enjoy whatever it is out you're on an adventure. He's going on vacation, and we're doing a little handoff. I'm going to be helping him hold space for the breathwork class tonight, and I'm super excited about that.
It's really just a 2-day adventure. So
2-day adventure.
Not quite the 2-week adventure.
So you're going to be back, and then I'm literally leaving again to go to Toronto at the end of this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know, but I'm only going to be on for like 5 or 6 days because I'm going to see Shakira because her hips don't lie. I booked this ticket a year ago, and I'm going to be live on breakfast television talking about the raw food, so I'll get a bit more into that in a moment. We're gonna talk about all of that, but
See
I'm so
y'all.
happy I
Thank
saw
you.
you before you left.
Yes,
and
me too.
We'll take good care of your beloved breath
Of all the people.
and all the people.
Right on.
Happy safe travels. Love you. Thanks for dropping by. Always a good time here at Rythmia Sunday afternoon. Curiel is saying, "Go Meg!" Woo woo. Okay, so again, I haven't played this game in 2 weeks, so everyone that's watching, please let me know where you're watching from. I love seeing from all over the world where our viewers are from. So as I said, I just got back from holiday. I was in Italy, among other places. Today's Facebook Live, as you'll see in the title, is called Inspired Italian, and I'm just doing a few recipes that were in fact inspired from my travels in Italy, but also some really decadent and delicious recipes, because if there's one thing I learned from my trip, and I'll tell you, I flew to New York from Costa Rica, then from New York I was in Croatia, then from Croatia I flew to Rome, Italy, and then I was in Madrid, Spain, back to New York, back to Costa Rica, so it was a pretty whirlwind, just under 2 weeks. But the one thing I do love about Europe is the indulgent, I don't even like to use the word indulgent, but the way that really carefree, which is the lesson that I'm trying to get out into the world, is that we don't have to be so stressed about how we're eating. I just had the conversation with some people this morning about the menu here at Rythmia and how it's not your typical like plant medicine dieta if you were to research that I do a lot of things outside the lines. As in life, I like to color outside the lines and I break a lot of rules, but I don't want there to be rules around food, especially when we're not dealing with any specific health ailment. So what I really love about Europe in general is that people there eat for enjoyment. They eat without guilt. They eat without telling stories about the food other than the beautiful history of the food. Like, food is celebrated there. It's, in in Italy, especially, like, recipes are passed down from like nonas to daughters to grandchildren, and it's just the mealtime is a really celebratory time. And I loved being out at 11 o'clock at night, in the center of Rome, and families were still out eating. Kids were playing out on the cobblestone streets, like just having had a beautiful 3-course dinner, and that they meandered over for hours, and then the kids are eating their gelato and then running around in the streets, burning off all that energy, and then they'll go home and go to bed. And it's such a celebration. So I really love that about Europe and Rome in particular. And I gotta say, I did eat my weight in pasta and bread, which was quite delicious. And the other big lesson that I took home with me from my travels in Europe was how steadfast, committed, and in my truth I am around my relationship with alcohol. Because I think I've shared quite a bit over the course of the last several months. Ooh, look at that. Distracted by coconut water. I need to drink that because I am hot and sweating. what I was saying is the fact that I managed to spend time in Rome, in Italy, world famous for its amazing wine, and to not even be tempted for a millisecond to order a glass is huge for me. I remember the first time I planned on going to Europe with my ex-husband years ago, 3 years ago. You know, I was like, he wasn't drinking at the time, and I was like, well, why would we go to Italy if you're not going to enjoy the wine with me? And you know, you can't eat a big bowl of spaghetti without a big glass of red wine, and that was the way my brain used to work. Like, I had such an ingrained habitual mentality around wine and food at that point. So it was really interesting for me to spend that time just now in, this is I'm thinking really deep, spending that time in Rome and not even think twice. Like, I managed to meander around and travel all through Europe, through all the different countries I was in, and instead of stopping at every roadside cafe and having a glass of wine, I would stop and have a cup of espresso or a lemonade, or, you know, they would make me a virgin cocktail. And it was, I mean, I didn't even order virgin cocktails for the most part. They would just assume I wanted wine, and when I said I didn't drink, then they would offer me virgin cocktails. But for the most part, I would just have coffee, and a lot of really good Italian coffee. That being said, does not compare to Costa Rican coffee. So, back to the point of this Facebook Live, we're talking about inspired Italian, some recipes that inspired me from my travels. Let's see if anyone's got anything to say over here. Dun, dun, dun. So, just so you guys know, by the way, I have 2 books. I know I probably have spoke to you at length about Miracle Meals, but I have just received, there we go, now I'm seeing what's going on here. For some reason I wasn't seeing the comments come up. Let's see if I can do this better over here. Yeah, there we go. So this is available here on Amazon. This is my cookbook that I wrote for Rythmia. This is all select, most requested recipes from last year, 2017. I'm working on cookbook number 3 right now, which hopefully will be done by the end of September. But I also have this other book called Map Wellness Morsels that I wrote in 2013. And it is a vegan one, and it is also available online. A lot of people have asked me for several of my raw vegan recipes, and it's available in this book. Map Wellness Morsels, available through my website. And the 3rd cookbook, I've just decided, I've designated September 2018 as my writing month. So I'm going to be spending that entire month, because Rythmia will not be open. We're closing for that month. I will be at home writing and finishing that book. And I'm really, really, really excited to share that with you all. So, shall we get to the recipes? What do you think, Kenneth? Is it time?
Time to go.
It's time. Because as Christian said, I need to do this Facebook Live, make sure dinner is good to go, teach yoga at 4 p.m., and then at 5:30 I'm going to be teaching the breathwork class. So I got a busy day ahead. So let's get down to it, shall we? So the first thing we're going to do is an oil, an infused oil. This is something that I don't use a lot of, but I came across it a lot when I was on my travels. And I'm going to make a really, really simple one today. We're just going to do a basil oil, and we're going to use it to finish off a couple of our Italian-inspired dishes today. Sue is saying, oh, I need that book. Thanks for sharing. Jennifer is giving me a heart. Maria McKenzie is watching from Okanagan. Maria, we have Marina, sorry. We have a lot of Canadians with us today, or this week at Rythmia. I've met a ton of people from Ontario, from Calgary. Super fun. Oh, and as I mentioned, I'm going to be live on TV next week in Toronto, Canada. I'm going to be in Toronto. And on Wednesday, August 8th, I think I've shared, there's an event on my Megan Wellness culinary page that you can link through, I think, through this post. But Wednesday, August 8th at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be doing a segment on Breakfast Television Toronto with Dina and I think Roger, 2 celebrities from Toronto that I've known for years. Dina and I worked together at Global Television back in the like 2000, year 2000, and I worked with Roger for many years at City TV. But I'm going to be on there doing a little chefy segment, talking about raw road tripping. That was really difficult. Raw road tripping. So I'm going to be packing up a ton of raw dehydrated dishes, and they're going to travel with me from Costa Rica to Toronto. Don't tell customs. But I'm going to just talk about all the different things that we can dehydrate for road trips, so that we always have snacks with us, as well as some other few interesting things like how you can dehydrate eggs and then reconstitute them and things like that. There's going to be a little mini segment called "Can you dehydrate that?" that Dina and I are going to explore. So that'll be Wednesday, August 8th. Okay, back to the oil infusion. So really, really simple recipe. I've got here, just soaking in water, and I should have dried it, but I didn't, is some really fresh basil. Oh my God, doesn't that smell like heaven? Can you smell it from there, Kenneth?
Delicious.
Oh, Kenneth hasn't said hello to our
hello,
adoring
everybody.
viewers. Kenneth is my cameraman and my go-to guy. He's been, when I've been away on vacation, he ran the show here, took care of everything. This is the high-tech way to dry off your herbs when you have an outdoor kitchen. You can do it indoors, it's just water. And the recipe that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, you only need about 2 cups of this. So I'm just going to pull off a bunch of leaves. This is kind of excessive.
Hi, Denise.
Denise is saying hi to you, Kenneth?
Yes.
Amazing. Everybody knows you now, Kenneth. Got a big long stem. This is a pretty high-powered blender, so I could just leave all the stems in here, but let's do about that much, and I'll save that rest for later. So about 2 cups of that, pinch of salt. Ooh, this is fun. So this is not made in Italy, but I picked it up in Italy. This is a little individual salt thingamahooty. It's from, I think it's produced by a company in Denmark, but I bought it in Italy, and I bought a couple of these for some friends that are always, every time I go to their house, they've got their salt in a little ramekin like this. Can you see that? But instead of the ramekin, oh, thank you. You just put a little tiny bit of salt, and I've been using this at home every night when I, want to put salt on the table. Just put your sea salt in there, and then all you gotta do is take a little pinch. How cute is that? And it's cute. And there was salt and pepper ones, but I don't really use pepper for anything anymore. So just putting a little bit of a pinch of salt in there. So we've got 2 cups of basil and a pinch of salt, and then we need olive oil. Now this is kind of ridiculous. So I bought this olive oil. This is the most expensive olive oil I could buy at the grocery store yesterday, because that's, in my opinion, when it comes to olive oil, price equals better quality. You get what you pay for. But this is actually from Greece. This is not Italian at all. But it's delicious nonetheless. So we're gonna put in a cup of olive oil. Just find your favorite, best olive oil you can get. Imported from Italy is obviously gonna be the tastiest. So I'm gonna put in about a cup. Dun, 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 dun. This is the pouring the olive oil song. And that's how I measure when I have a full bottle. That looks like I've emptied about a cup. Can you see that? The line? It's about a cup. All right. That is it, my friends. On the blender we go. Stay tuned for noise. Kenneth, back up as you do. That's all we're going to do. We could let this go a little bit longer, but I don't want to heat it up because I don't want to, I need more oil. It's too thick, man. It was more, that turned into more like a paste, but I want this liquidy, so I'm going to add in a bit more oil. I think because I added more than 2 cups of basil. That was a big bunch of basil. I'm going to put that back on. Just emulsify that. Well, if you think I'd been out of a kitchen for 2 weeks, I'm a klutz. There we go. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas, my dad would say. Thank you, Kenneth. Beautiful. A couple of comments here. Sharada is saying hello, hello, hello. Malita is saying, I agree with you about Italy. Americans are incredibly neurotic about food. Well, we've just been, conditioned and been told so many stories, and, the news and the media and our doctors are all telling us crazy things about food. And she also says, I also agree with you about the coffee. Sue is saying, I need the book. Thank you for sharing. Jennifer is watching from LA in California. Ali is watching from New Mexico. Denise is watching from Southern Maine. Super cool. Jennifer Sodini. Denise Elliott is saying hi. That's who you're saying hi from. Lauren Tripp. Hi, Lauren. Lovely to have you watching, dear one. You're so beautiful. I can't see you, but I know that you're beautiful because I know you in person. Christina is watching from Ontario. Randy is saying hello from Northern California. So cool. Caval is watching from Great Britain, and she's missing the food. You guys are amazing. So good. Okay. And we're done. Just kidding. So the next thing we're gonna do is bruschetta, because I ate my weight in bruschetta when I was in Italy, and there was the first restaurant that I went to right in the center of Rome, right after I visited the Spanish Steps and Trevi Fountain and the Colosseum and did all that touristy stuff, the stuff that you have to see when well, you don't have to. I have to admit, when I travel, as much as I grew up doing all the sightseeing, that's not my jam. I don't go to a city and map out how many sightseeing tourist destinations I can hit in a day. That's just, I mean, I love walking cities, but I like to more pretend that I live in a city that I'm visiting. So I like to wander around and shop and eat and just sit in a park and read. And we're gonna turn this music off. Hey, Rebecca. I don't know if you guys can hear, but music just came on and it quite often distracts from the audio for the video. It can be a little bit funny. So we're gonna have to shut it down! I'll get it, don't worry Kenneth, I'll make eye contact. But what was I talking about? I was talking about Rome. And I don't remember, I've lost my train of thought because this music has come on. Can you ask them to kill the music? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. This is so complicated. I don't even know. Thank you. I don't know if it was affecting the audio, but I know we've had problems with it in the past, and I didn't want you guys to have an issue. Let's see. Has anyone got anything to say about that? No. Okay. What was I talking about?
About your trip in Italy and
oh yeah, that I like seeing sights. There we go. Back full circle. So when I spent my first day in the center of Rome, I found this beautiful restaurant on this beautiful little side street, and I ate the best bruschetta I've ever had in my entire life. I'm pretty sure it was because of the bread, the olive oil, and who knows what else, but it was the most magical bruschetta in my life. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw a picture of it. There was three different versions, and I'm gonna make my version, show you my version of 2 of them here today. And I also ate the best pasta I've ever had in my life as well. So, bruschetta, what is that? That just means, I think it just translates to like Italian for topped toast. So what I've gone ahead and already done is I bought this baguette, which is this baguette here, which is not an Italian baguette. I was at our local grocer in Tamarindo yesterday in a rush to get all my stuff ready for this, and I had my choice of Parisian baguette, Spanish baguette, what was Costa Rican style baguette. There was not the Italian version. So I ended up with this one, which I believe was the Spanish. I was in Madrid, Spain too, when they do a lot of like topped toasts there as well. So it's a little bit narrower and a little bit more airy than what I would ideally like, but I've gone ahead and toasted it off really well. So the key to a good bruschetta is that, a good bread. So I've got a plate here. I'm gonna dry that off because I got a little bit of water on there. So you don't want soggy bruschetta. That's why you toast it really, 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 really well. So I've got, let's do 3 slices. So 3 slices of bruschetta. The next thing we want to do is rub it real good with some garlic, because that's going to give the bread a really good flavor. So I'm going to just cut off the end here. I'm just going to take this garlic and I'm just going to rub it. This is, what is it? I'm asking my brain something. What is the bread that is pan con tomate? That's a thing where you just rub garlic all over toasted bread and then you put tomato on it. Pan con tomate, super good. So this is kind of the same procedure. So I'm just rubbing garlic. Oh, can you smell that? Like, I would eat this just like that, like garlicky bread. But why would we do that when we have some beautiful olive oil? So the next big key is to have a good drizzle of olive oil, really good olive oil, and you gotta be liberal. You gotta be liberal with that. That right there is delicioso. I would eat this, but we're not gonna stop there because next thing we're gonna do is add, you're looking for the keys. We got some behind the scenes stuff going on here. Venga key. Jonathan, say hello.
No.
He just needed the keys to the kitchen, so there we go. Gracias. None of them ever want to be on the Facebook with me, so I gotta force them when I can. Pinch of sea salt. Now this is like garlic toast. Really simple, garlic, sea salt, olive oil. This would be delicious. But why would we stop there? Let's do the first version. So if you saw my Instagram post about this bruschetta, there was this amazing ricotta mushroom one. So what I'm gonna do here, this is just a really good Italian ricotta that I bought. Here at Rythmia, we have a ricotta that is a goat milk ricotta from our goat farm, but I picked up this authentic imported from Italy stuff. So I'm gonna do 2 of these. Just putting this ricotta in, and I like to be rustic. Do you know that when I use the term rustic, I mean it's just a nice way of saying messy? My food is quite rustic. My plating techniques, quite rustic. So rinse-y-roo. And then what I've gone here and done is sauteed some amazing mushrooms. These are cremini, but if I had a nice access to some really lovely or like mixed wild mushrooms, that would be really good on here. And I'm just gonna put this on top. You know what would be really good as I'm thinking about this? A balsamic reduction drizzle on top. But what we're gonna do today is a bit more olive oil and that amazing basil oil that we just did. So look at that. So good. I could live off of this. This is kind of what I do enjoy most nights, but instead of bread, what often I either use bread or I do sweet potatoes, sliced to do that sweet potato toast that I did on the sandwich video that we did a while back, and just top them in various ways. So look at that. That looks pretty good already, right? Look at this olive oil pooling on that bread. Ah, so good. And then the middle one, we're gonna do the traditional bruschetta, which is tomato. And I kind of made a bit of a more Costa Rican style one, and we did beautiful fresh tomato with a bit of onion and cilantro. So it's kind of like a pico de gallo version. Because we're in Costa Rica. So this is inspired Italian. I never said that this was going to be legit Italian. Look at that. Come on! Just like that. What do you think, Kenneth?
Great.
Then, since I didn't use all that basil, what we can do, take a little... Okay, so I'm going to show you a little technique here, by the by. So you're going to look at my hands. This is called chiffonading an herb, and a lot of people always, I mean, this is a really simple technique, but especially if you've got multiple layer leaves of any herb, basil in particular, what we can do is just layer your leaves together, and then you roll them up into a nice little tight bundle. And then you take your knife, and you just run it through, and you get these beautiful little tendrils, these threads of herb. So pretty, right? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And you don't bruise it as much as if you were to slice it up another way, and then we're just put that on top. Come on. Come on! So this looks pretty good, right? We could just leave it as it is, but we made an oil. I'm gonna take a little bit of this oil, and I'm just gonna drizzle it around the plate. A couple of droplets. Oh, look at that. Maybe put a little bit, tiny bit. Get a little squeeze bottle, it'd be good. Look at that. So this is a pretty concentrated oil, so I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. And I have this little piece of thyme there. Look at that. So pretty, huh? I was gonna put some arugula on there, but I've decided against it. But what I can do is put a little bit of sprouts. Dun, dun, dun. That's pretty, right?
Super delicious.
So Kenneth, you can't try it because we're gonna take a picture afterwards. Sorry! So that is Megan's version, the Italian-inspired bruschetta. Now, the other option is we could bypass the ricotta that I put on there, and we could do the tofu ricotta that we're about to make right now, and you could do that for a vegan version if you want to go fully plant-based. But let's move on to our second course. Hi there. How are you?
Good yourself?
Good. Welcome. We're live on Facebook.
I said hello. Okay, awesome.
What's your name?
Food is yummy, Roxanne.
Roxanne. Nice to meet you. Welcome.
I look forward to all the yummy treats. All
Yay! Have a good afternoon.
right. You too.
Okay, so we're here. Claudia is watching. Lauren Tripp, you off of them? I missed it. And I'm doing this again. I don't know what this is. So the next thing we're gonna do is ravioli, and we're gonna make a tofu ricotta with that, which is a super easy recipe. Oh, you know what? I feel like this machine's not gonna, oh yeah, well, let's just double check. She works all right. So this recipe is really easy in that we're just gonna toss stuff in a blender. Easy peasy. And I'm gonna use tofu as the base for this. I used tofu for 2 recipes today because I forgot about tofu, and then I ate it recently and remembered that I really actually quite like it. So in here I've got one 12-ounce container, but it's silken. But it's a firm version of the soft silk tofu, so you can see the texture it's soft yet firm. And I've got a little handful of fresh without the excess liquid, so I'm just gonna scoop it. I'm gonna toss in a bit more of this basil. So this is just tofu and basil so far. Then we're gonna add in 3 cloves of garlic. Seems like an awful lot, but you know, these are pretty big, so I'm just gonna put in 2. Like, these are some pretty epic garlic cloves. So I'm gonna toss in 2 of those. Sea salt. Nooch, nutritional yeast. We've talked about this several times. This is an inactive yeast that smells like smells like heaven is what it smells like. It smells like cheese. This is gonna give us a bit of a cheesy taste. So I'm gonna toss that in. I'm gonna add in like 3 good tablespoons, maybe 4, because I love it. It's gonna sop up some of that liquid. I'm gonna add in 2 whole roasted red peppers. You could roast them at home yourself over your flame and peel them, or you can 1. So if you're gonna roast your peppers at home, like if you want, you can put them like in your oven under the broiler and just have a watchful eye and turn them to make sure they don't burn. Or you can roast them on your open flame. The only thing is after you've got them nice and charred on the outside, what you want to do is you want to put them inside like a glass or a metal bowl with a cover on it, and then the heat from the peppers themselves will help steam them a little bit, and that will help loosen the skin, so then afterwards you can peel off the skin, because with roasted red peppers you don't want to have the tough outer skin. You want to peel that off, and you also want to seed them. So 2 whole roasted red peppers, peeled and seeded, or just buy them in a jar or a can, like so. And today we're going to add in the zest from I'm going to use a little lime, because that's what I have. About a teaspoon of lime zest, and it's just going to help brighten up the flavor. Like so. And I'm adding in an extra flavor ingredient that's not on your... We're live on the Facebook. Do you want to come say hi?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Come on, Samantha.
Hi.
Samantha, it's so funny. She just walked up and her eyes bugged out of her face because she saw what we were making. Did you see the bruschetta? Is that what your eyes were bugging out?
I was like, oh, I haven't had bruschetta in ages.
I know. This is my Facebook Live called Inspired Italian. So I'm taking
I feel honored to be on Inspired Italian with the gorgeous Meg at Rythmia.
Samantha is an amazing, amazing member of our team that's with us for a few weeks, helping in all regards. Just such a lovely light. She's been teaching the dance class on my behalf because I've been off gallivanting, but also because I've been injured, and also because she's a legit dance teacher. Like, I'm not. I teach it, but I have no qualifications other than I like to dance. But she's like legit and really good, so I'm grateful for you for being here. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you.
Enjoy your... I'm going to go and visit the new guests.
Excellent.
And enjoy... Oh, I'm going to come back and...
Come back and have a little...
I'm going to come eat the bruschetta.
Yeah, there we go. So the extra ingredient I'm going to add are these sun-dried tomatoes. So I've, in preparation for that Facebook Live that I was telling, or not Facebook Live, television appearance I was telling you about, where I'm doing all dehydrated things, I've made a bunch of sun-dried tomatoes at home in my dehydrator, and I'm talking really fast, I'm not sure why. But these are homemade sun-dried tomatoes. These are literally just super ripe organic plum tomatoes that I've sliced 2 different ways. These one I sliced down the middle, and this one I sliced lengthwise, just for different looks. And I just put them in my dehydrator. They've been going for about 12 hours at about 120 degrees, and I've got a little bit of herb de Provence and sea salt on there. That's it, no oil or anything. Super delicious. They will store for about 6 months in a glass jar once they're completely dried, or up to a year in the freezer. Enjoying the summer months right now. When you have it, you buy a plethora of stuff at the farmer's market, or your garden is overflowing with vegetables and things, to hydrate them, and it's a really great way to have your fresh produce all season long. Bam! Emerald styles, that's going in. So, is that it? Is that all that I had on this made-up recipe? Let's check our notes, shall we? Roasted red pepper sauce. Really creative name I gave this. Tofu, peppers, dill, but I added in basil. Lemon zest, garlic, nooch, sea salt, black pepper. I'm not putting black pepper in because I don't have any. And then we just blend. I'm gonna add more nooch. I've decided not to. About a boom, bada bing. You know what I didn't bring? A spatula. Needs more salt. Needs more salt. And it needs more nooch, I think. No, actually just salt. Maybe the juice of a lemon. Whoa! Who's the messy? Ah, look at that. I'm just making a mess now. Beautiful. That'll do. Give that a quick whirl. Oh my gosh, I'm making such a mess. Hey, bada boom, bada bing. I'm gonna put it in here. The other half of this container. Oh, you got a bowl there. That's even better. So this is pretty runny. It'll soften up, or sorry, thicken up a little bit in the refrigerator. For chips, this is a great filling for ravioli. But we're still gonna do it today. Super red peppery. I mean, that's really the underlying flavor note, not underlying, the overpowering flavor note, because tofu itself doesn't have much taste. So it just is kind of a vehicle for whatever you want, but this is a great plant-based protein dish, so it would be great served on pasta, like just served over zucchini noodles. So that is that. Dun, da, da, da. Did you see it? All right, so what do we got here? We're gonna do the ravioli. That's what we're doing. What time is it? 2:35. Great. So when I say beet ravioli, what I mean is just shaved beets that we're gonna fill with stuff. So what I got here is a beet that we've gone ahead and peeled. It's just a raw beet. Save this plate. I'm gonna grate right into this bowl. Like a bull in a china shop. So I got this mandolin, which you've seen a million times, I think, in my videos, and I'm gonna go super thin with my blade, because these are gonna be our pasta noodles. So what I'm gonna do, look at that, a little bit thinner. Here we go. So I'm just slicing up my beet. So they're like paper thin, almost. Like you can see light through them. And then I'm gonna add a tiny bit of olive oil, because that's kind of a running theme today. That's just our quick little marinade. Pinch of sea salt. Mix that up. This is like a version of like every raw vegan chef course from the 2000s. You always learned how to make beet ravioli. It was just a thing. So we got that, and then look at look at how pretty that looks, just marinated in the oil. It's so pretty, right? So I'm gonna take a couple of these and I'm going to make these into mini raviolis. So I got my plate here. I got it, Kenneth is trying to like assist me with his one free hand here, and I'm trying to do stuff with my one non-dirty hand. We're like, we make one whole human with our two not being utilized hands. So I'm gonna plate this. Put down my book. So these are gonna be the bottoms of my raviolis. So pretty, right? So 3 raviolis at the base. Now, like I said, you can do a couple of options here. We could put in our real ricotta, which is a really yummy option. So I'll do a couple with the real ricotta, because ricotta, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, any cheese and beets is a good combination. And then let's do one with a little bit of mushrooms inside. Woo, mercy! I'm making this up as I go, kids. And then the other one in the middle, we'll do the vegan version with our tofu ricotta. Like that. And then ideally what we do is we go ahead and we top these with our other pieces of ravioli. You know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Can you see that? Does it look nice from that side? And we can put in a little bit of green there. A little bit of plate cleanup here, because you know the beet stains all the things. That's the beet cleaning song, apparently. All right. A bada boom, bada bing. And then make a little arugula salad over here. Make that look pretty. Arugula salad. A couple of sprouts. Need a mess. Like so. What else can we put on there, Kenneth?
Oil.
Oh yeah, the green oil. That's what we need to do. A little bit of mushrooms out here to be like, hey, this guy's got mushrooms in it. Right? What do you think?
Delicious.
And then our oil. Not bad, right? But you know what this plate does need is a little bit of lemon, because a little squeeze of lemon over this this beet, this earthy beet, would be really nice with the squeeze of lemon. So put a couple of lemon slices in there. Dunsky. So this is not ravioli at all, but it's faking it. Not too shabby, right?
Delicious.
How does it look over? Oh yeah, that looks pretty. Okay, so we'll take a picture of that afterwards too. So there, look at that. We've got 3 dishes. Oh, and there's 2 other things I want to talk about. I'm going to come around this way. So I got right here. It's funny because I had this plate here set up. Now Claudia's saying you were inspiring me, gorgeous soul. Oh, Claudia, you're sweet. Okay, so over here, over quinoa chicken, ground chicken meatballs. So we get our chicken from our organic guy, and he grinds the chicken for us fresh, and I make these meatballs that have onion, served with a simple pomodoro sauce. Who does fills in for Jerry. Candace came up, she's like, oh my god, are you ever gonna make this for dinner? I was like, it's on the buffet all the time, but people they forget, you know, with the buffet, something like this. Like we do this. I think 2 days ago, this was what we had on the lunch buffet. It was quinoa pasta that we cooked with garlic and a bit of kale, and I had these meatballs in the sauce. But you know, it's all about the plating, which gets people excited, which I think is funny. And that's the unfortunate part about serving all my food buffet style, is I don't get to have the power to plate it the way that I would like to rustically plate it. But that's just another inspired dish that was always on the menu here at Rythmia. And then, what's going on here? I've got like some serious stuff going on here. Then the last thing I want to show you was this dessert, which is just a lemon cake that I made. It's vegan. And it's back and forth, but we're still live, yeah? The base here is a flour base. You could use gluten-free flour, but I use regular flour. It's just lemon zest, flour. I used a tapa dulce, which is the cane sugar, really unprocessed cane sugar that we get here in Costa Rica. So I used that in the base, and I also used it in the filling. That's why the filling is dark yellow, as opposed to like when you think lemon meringue pie, for example, you think that light, fluffy, light lemon color. Because I used the cane sugar, which is a dark brown in color, that's why it looks like this. So I've actually gone and added a bit of turmeric, which gave it more of a yellow color. And just slice some lemon on top, but it's a tofu base that's been baked. So this is a super high protein vegan dessert option as well. And I just wanted to serve that today. It's not really Italian. There's a lot of beautiful lemons in it in Italy, but it was just, it's a bit of an indulgent, I hate that word again, but it's a really rich and delicious treat option. So that's why I made that today. So I think that's all I have. Oh, sorry, Kenneth was just looking off camera there, so I got distracted. So that's all I have for you guys today. I think we did a lot. We covered quite a few recipes here. And I'm going to post the recipes in the comments. If you have any questions, post them in the comments as well. Next week, I will be coming to you live from Toronto, or my Exeter, actually. I'm probably going to be coming to you live from Exeter, Ontario, from my mom's house. And I think my topic is maybe do a couple of recipes from that and talk about some amazing ingredients, or maybe I'll come live from someone's farm. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what happens. So until then, my friends, have a beautiful week. So happy to be back. It's been lovely chatting with you all. Next week again, live from Exeter or Toronto, and the week after that I'll be back here. I think we're going to be talking about kombucha. Mucho gusto. Con mucho gusto is how we say like you're welcome. Like with much pleasure here in Costa Rica. And there's a brand of kombucha here in Costa Rica called Kombucha Gusto.
Mucho.
But no, kombucha. Because
Kombucha.
it's kombucha tea. So funny. So that's it. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. And we will see you later. Ciao.